Welcome, welcome. Let's do it. Do it live.
Oh yeah, this is Sci-Fi Snob, and this is the Top Lofty Lounge. We're in for a smooth show for you today. Oh yeah, baby. In the 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, baby. Yeah, here we go. In 11, 10, 9. Oh yeah, baby. Here we come. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the smooth sounds of the Top Lofty Lounge. Episode 70 today. Conversations for the Elevated. Welcome to all my fellow snobs. This week on the lounge, we're going to be talking about this week in sci-fi. We're going to be talking about a couple of different little um, things in sci-fi that have been digging around my and my co-hosts' minds, and we're going to end off the show. Probably the majority of the show, we're going to talk about the last half. We're going to talk about upcoming things in science fiction, what we're looking for in various media, what we're looking forward to. Yeah, and just excuse the background here. In the dugout, the winter is coming, and the heaters have kicked in. I've turned it off, but it'll take a little while to stop. But yeah, you'll that'll go away pretty soon during the show. So apologize for that, but hey, it's either that or freeze to death around here. So before we get going, let me introduce my co-host. He is the RPG to my video games. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Top Lofty Lounge. Our loyal viewers, we appreciate you all.
Yes, welcome, welcome. Let's see who's in the show tonight. Cam, would you like to talk to our? You talk to our viewers. Let's say you welcome our viewers.
Sure, I'd love to.
A little bit of change of yeah.
Weatherman showed up before I did, even, and we always appreciate seeing Weatherman, who we often call accurately our most loyal viewer. Daniel Shadow there are, of course, our co-host or co-panelist on the Babylon 5 show every Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern on same channel. And then we've got, we got Dave,
Welcome.
often avid viewer as well, seems to enjoy the tool segments and agrees with me a lot, so I really appreciate that.
We got Dave. I like Dave even if he doesn't agree with me.
Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't give any reason to not like him, so that's good. Jeanette Buffington, welcome. We always appreciate having you in here as well. Let's see, PB, who has also been, kind of a regular, active participant in the chat.
A newer viewer, but that's true. Fine. It's good. He's but very loyal too.
Yeah. And I think that's all we got right now. But that's okay. We like our core group, and of course, we welcome everyone else. But all we need is one. All we really need is one.
to keep my us count saying we have 6 people so far. Okay, that's good. I like we like the intimate conversations.
Yeah. What are you drinking there?
If you heard that, Cam, I'm starting drinking early. Yeah, it's called Rupert's. It's a Canadian whiskey. I'm not real picky, So it's the thing that's open right now. So that's how we drink that. So
I see.
just
James has also joined us.
welcome. All right, good. Welcome everyone. Yes, hello. They all people people pop in the first little bit of the show. You know how that YouTube notifications are a little bit slow sometimes. Space King provides heat for all. Yes, the heat, the hate monger, especially the heat of his hatred, warms all of our hearts. Yes, yes, very much so. Okay, what do we have to do for before we get the show? This show is we can just go right to stuff. We don't have to do. We don't have any trivia we have to do from last week or anything like that. But I should ask my usual question, Cam. What have you done in the last week to improve your sci-fi snobification? Snobbery, I got to work on that word.
Well, we'll kind of be talking about that a little bit, but I
Right.
have made a purchase of some sci-fi product, which I'll mention. But I also this isn't necessarily sci-fi, but it is technical. I spent about a half hour assisting someone who, let's say, is technologically challenged and stubborn and refuses to, try to solve problems, get
What?
over one of their problems yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was about this time.
Okay, well, that's very kind of you.
Mhm.
Helping out your fellow man.
Mhm.
Sure, that person must appreciate that. Very.
I don't know. Did you appreciate it?
Did I appreciate what?
Okay, so here's the story, everybody.
What? There's a story.
Yeah, and this might, get right into another
I blame Jeff
avenue.
for this.
Well, that's true. I did call on the assistance of Jeff, not directly, but meaning I didn't contact him, but I was like, boy, if only Jeff were here. So
He was Jeff. He was cursing you, and
yeah,
if you felt the pain in your back about this time last night, that's what it was.
right. Well, uh, I don't know. It was somewhat later in the evening last night. I don't know, maybe I
A
don't
little bit
remember
later than
exactly.
now, but
Maybe
yes.
10 o'clock or something like that. And I was, as you may recall, Snob was talking about getting Diablo, which he did, and then proceeded to not play at all during the week. But
Well,
I did.
that's not true. No, I'm
Hmm.
at level 37 or something now.
Yeah, it said you had 4 days off, so basically you didn't play during the whole week.
All right,
Anyway, this is my story, so
4 days.
let me continue, please. And anyway, so last night it's like, oh well, let's play for a while. So I was like, okay, fine. So I hook everything up, and we were, uh, we have the live chat going. So basically, I just try to drag him along in his, let's say, less than optimal playing of the game, but that's okay. He's new, and we can't get the chat to work. It's like,
I am a noob.
right, yeah, and that's fine. The game needs more noobs because all the old players are leaving, but so it's like, oh, everything on my side, it says the mic is working. I did test after test after test. I tried two different microphones, two different machines, two different apps to try and do this, and all of it is just like Snob can't hear me. I could hear him fine, right? We go through this happened, this went over 40, 30
And
40
remember,
minutes.
the little circles are going
Right.
right,
Yeah.
so that it says that we can your voice is doing something.
Right. So lo and behold, after this half hour or more of
It was
frustration,
more
in
like
which,
20 minutes.
I mean, how many times did I, because we were typing, in this because it was the only way to communicate. How
Well,
many times did I drop
I wasn't
F-bombs?
typing.
That's true. I was typing.
You were typing, but
Point is, I was repeatedly swearing because of the frustration level. Trying to.
I'm looking at the chat window right here. There's a lot of bad words in here. My goodness, I don't think I can release this.
Right. Please don't. In any case, and then suddenly Snob's like, oh.
This takes up like a page and a half of Discord.
Right.
I have to scroll to see all of it.
And I had repeatedly, again, I was trying to solve it on my end, and I repeatedly said, well, maybe, could it be on your end? No, couldn't, figure it out. And then suddenly he's like, oh, wait, I've got you muted somehow.
No, that's not the truth. I didn't have you muted. What I did was, and Jeff knows this. We've struggled with this. Discord changes up your stuff on occasion, so it had switched me. So we were using Discord to talk, and it it switched me to the wrong thing for my input, and so therefore Cam did not get his voice did not get inputted, and it didn't work in the game either, Cam, because the game was set to default inputs. So whatever the default was, well, actually, it should have worked because just because the one in Discord doesn't work, the default would be set by Windows, wouldn't it? So that's a little weird. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. But anyway,
Well, regardless, it was on your end.
yeah, it was. I just switched it, and then it worked. Now,
I'm
a couple
glad
times I did say, well, maybe it is on my end. Maybe I should dig in. And I dug in a little bit.
But he never did.
Well, I did.
It's
I was
like, oh, maybe
looking
it's my
into it,
fault. Let
but I was
Cam
like,
struggle over
no,
there
it can't be
futilely.
that. Did you? Yeah. What did you boot you booted your machines twice and switched them back and forth?
I rebooted multiple machines.
It was kind of funny.
Yeah, again, the combinations had to be above 8. Things
I
like
think
that.
I should release all these swearing because it makes it even more funny.
Well, maybe you do that on
When-
your Patreon or whatever, your subscribe star.
Secret subscribe star. You're just reading Cam saying, curse, curse, curse. What about this? What about that? Oh. And if you actually read this and know that it's actually all my fault when you're reading it, it's
Yeah,
even
then it's
more
hilarious.
Yeah, it's even more funny. Anyway,
The one thing I did say we need Jeff. So
all right. Well, if at least we might as well talk about Diablo first.
Okay.
This game, and if you're going to spill tea, then I'm going to spill the tea.
Okay.
Yeah, it's have you ever played a game with somebody who really, really knows that game really, really well and has played it a lot, and you are like brand new and you're just trying to figure out what's going on? Yeah, that's what it's like for me. So I'm reading, I'm like, all right, let's do the main storyline, and I'm going to these things that people are talking, and I have to watch this to figure out what's going on. And Cam's like, oh, I've done this before. He's complaining the entire time that he's not getting any experience points for this because he's done it already. And as soon as a cutscene or something ends, Cam runs off, and I'm like, oh, well, we got to go this way, and he's already there. He gets there first. He kills everything. And I sort of show up, and I'm like, oh, there's a couple monsters on the end. I'll just kill them. And I was just going to be like, you know what? I should just sit back and relax and let Cam go through and kill everything. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy. So,
well, that's not exactly true.
It kind of takes a little bit away from the game. You're trying to go like, hey, let's find out what the big problem is. No, just go over here. Blah, blah, blah,
okay,
blah, blah, blah.
You're right. You're accurate on a few points that I did mention that I'm not getting any Okay, first of all, I created a character just to play with Snob because I knew it was going to be slow because he hasn't played.
See, I wouldn't say saying. I would say whining about not getting any XP.
Oh, well, okay. However you like to falsely characterize it, that's up to you. But the point is, I did note that I wasn't getting any XP. But I was extremely patient whenever I sat there and just waited. And you got to keep in mind, these are long cutscenes. I sat there and waited while all the cutscenes were going on for Snob to enjoy the story and just waited. Now, I did, as he mentioned, at some points when it's like, oh, go here, because he doesn't have waypoints in the game. There's waypoints where you could basically teleport around between towns and things. And in a few cases, you have to
walk to those places first, and then you can activate the waypoints. Normally.
Right. In like 2 cases, I went to a waypoint that was far away and clicked on it, and then he could teleport to me and get the waypoint, because doing more walking isn't really experiencing the game. I did not cut you off on any actual interactions with the storyline, which, as you mentioned, I'm somewhat familiar with.
Yes.
Now, but bearing in mind, I never said I was an expert at this game. I have played it, and I pretty much know the storyline and everything.
Well, you're an expert to me, that's for sure.
Okay, yeah, but
I don't know anything about it.
I'm nothing of an expert. Like, for example, you're floundering around trying to figure out how to play your barbarian class, and I don't know because I played barbarian once for a short period of time. It's typically not my class, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I'm trying to
imagine. I'm Cam rushes up the thing. He's got some, what is it, a sorcerer or some sort of magic thing. All these flame things are shooting out. He's wiping out everything in the way, and I'm just sort of show up, and I'm
okay.
Like, but where is it? Oh, there's monsters there. Oh, there's a couple on the edges. I'll just chop them up a little bit. Oh, okay.
Okay, but let me point out, I'm not playing like a super powered character that is beyond you.
No,
I created a character and I stayed near your level.
that's true.
And so I was just using what I had found until when I was doing the other stuff that I was talking about. That was when I was playing solo, not when I was playing with you.
No, I
So
understand.
I can't help it that my character, found better stuff.
So
More
are you
likely, you
saying,
don't know what you're doing, and that's not your fault. And we could talk about this because
so
if you
would
don't,
you say that we played for about an hour and a half last night? Is that correct?
maybe that's how much
So
playtime we got
in the hour and a half, I think we both started at level 31. So just so you guys know the game. So we both started at level 31 at this point in the, we've played a couple times before. And I went up to level 37 or 38 in this hour and a half of running around. And Cam didn't go up a level at all because most of the experience we were getting from the storyline.
I think I went up to 32 actually.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
And then he went off and he went on his own. And you about 20 minutes, and then you gained about 15 levels. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I ended up
Something
at
like that.
44,
And
45. But
I had carried on my own, and I got no more levels. I mean, I got a little bit, but that just shows you how fast you can level up in this game.
yeah,
When
absolutely.
you're not where I am.
Yeah, and I'm not like I again, I haven't watched many of the streamers doing it. I'm guessing I told Snob that you could probably level from 0 to 60 in maybe 2 hours. Maybe some of them do it faster than that at this point, but it's no challenge whatsoever to do that if you're not playing campaign. Which
the campaign, yeah, because I'm at I can't even access that content that you're talking about because I have to finish. You have to finish the campaign first,
right?
So,
Yeah. Well, okay, so now we've kind of talked about that particular issue. Do you want to share with our
about it.
yeah? Do you want to share with the audience your first time play with Diablo 4? How do you like it? Is it interesting? Is it something you'd recommend?
Well, I originally played the first one back in the mid to early 90s.
Mhm.
I haven't played since. It's not really my. I mean, I see how it's fun. You run around, and that's why I got it because it was extremely on sale, and you can run around and hack up things, and it's a good little fun to go around here, hack stuff up, chop up a bunch of monsters, and have a rip roaring good time. But it's not really the kind of game that I would necessarily play. I tend more to the strategy type games, but I do have a little bit of I do a little bit go around. It wouldn't normally be my go-to, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, and it was like 55% off, so that's pretty good. The graphics are very good. Blizzard's graphics are good. Lots of detail in that. Great voice work, all that stuff. It's almost like being in a movie.
The gameplay is also very smooth. It's their engine works great.
Yeah, there's no problems with lots of options for you can even within the class of the character. There are so many different choices for the type of weapons you want to use, the type of skills you want to get within that class, that you can almost do anything you want. And again, I've only picked one class, and I've only barely scratched the surface of this one. I haven't looked at any of the other classes, which are there's tons of them. How many? There's 5, 6, 7 classes, 8, something like that.
I think there's 6 now.
6 now. So I mean, you multiply that with all the other classes as well. So there's lots of options and stuff. So far I find the story, pretty good, pretty reasonable. I know you were complaining about it a little bit. You want to talk about that?
Well, it's okay. It's slow. It's like there seems to be a lot of repetitiveness. Generally, I enjoy playing campaign. I prefer to play campaign and storyline if I could, but the story is rather thin and slow. It's not that it's bad per se, but there's something I would really like to rail against that I hate about it, but it would spoil you. So I want to let you get through that first.
I'm on Act 3, and I suspect that there's another Act 4. I think it only told me that there's 3 acts, but I suspect there's a 4th act. It's a little gory.
Yeah, it's
pretty gory.
It's
lots of blood.
Gothic horror, is kind of their theme.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say, some of these games I'm a little bit. Some of the you get side quests which kind of become very fetchy and stuff. And
Mhm.
I played. I don't know. I was a big fan of the Mass Effect series and greatly enjoyed those until the very last one, where they kind of screwed up the very last part of it. It was so great till almost the very end, and then they screwed it up. They could have done a bunch of different things, but yeah, and some of those games can get these sort of fetch quests. If you're a completionist and you want to do all the various quests, you're like, oh, go here and get these three things. And the further the Mass Effect Andromeda was after that. I didn't play that one because it got slammed at the beginning. Was very had a lot of bugs and problems, and lots of complaints about it, very fetch questy. I mean, there are some of these side quests in here are a little bit. They're still. I mean, they're fetch quests in a sense. Go here and find this guy or this weapon or whatever. But it's actually pretty well done. So I'm kind of pressed that it can be very hard in those type of games where you have to do you've got these side quests to make them interesting or not 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 like, oh, go here and get three of these and come back. And they do a pretty good job of that. But again, the side quests don't really affect. Like, if you could weave those into the storyline a little better with some sort of more of a bonus or something, it would be better to do. But it's very hard to do. The writing in this stuff is very difficult. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Michael.
it's very samey, and it stays that way. Unfortunately, it's uninspired in my opinion.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and again, without spoiling it,
I
they
think
had to go ahead.
I think that your standards are really high compared to other stuff. I'm not going to disagree, but compared to some of the other games out there that have that type of thing in them, not necessarily, like a Mass Effect is not a sort of a top-down isometric third-person, action arcade game, but anything with quests and that kind of stuff can be very difficult to do. I think they do I mean, again, I don't disagree with you, but I think they do a better job than the standard, which is to
Well,
say that maybe the standard's a little low amongst other stuff, but still.
maybe,
Anyway,
but in the Diablo franchise, many of the hardcore people really like Diablo 2, the gameplay and it was a hardcore game. You really had to work at it. Diablo 3 was extremely hard when it started, and then by the end, and now it's still a game you could play. It's very easy. It's one of these things that they just gutted it for casual players. That's hardcore players would make that accusation, and they're not wrong. I am somewhat of a casual player, a little more than casual maybe, but there's not much effort in. We just talked about leveling up to 60 is nothing in this game. I mean, it happens. They have seasons every 3 months, and people are topping out easily in those 3 seasons. In the
yeah,
past, you would play Diablo 2 for months upon months upon months, trying to get to max level. And it was very difficult to do, to achieve those things. Now they basically hand it to you in a lot of ways. But Diablo 3, I think, the storyline, I think, was better. A lot of people hated the storyline for particular reasons, but I thought it was good. And, uh, I thought the gameplay was just as good. Okay, there's another game called Path of Exile that came out after Diablo 3, and that kind of took the hardcore players. And it's an extremely elaborate game. I've only barely played it. It's beyond the amount of time that I have, and you essentially can't play without being told how to play. It's super hard, super detailed. And so Diablo 4 tried to copy that a little bit with their Paragon system and everything we're doing it, but it's I think it hasn't worked out. It has this illusion of choice and everything, but you really can't do anything that's not specific and succeed. There's very few deviations you can have if you don't do a specific build, and that's very unfortunate. Diablo 2, you could do a lot more stuff. It's like, well, I'm going to do this or try that, and come up with some combo. And Diablo 3 and 4 just don't have that to the same degree. It's way more funneled.
yeah. Yeah. Is there anybody interested in sort of these action RPGs? I know a guy who works for um, Amazon, and they're with their action RPG. I think it's more of a like a Japanese inspired one, but we potentially could talk about these in more
See,
detail.
well, I love them. Again,
Yeah,
I mean, there's no doubt that Diablo is my most played game series, and but the thing that I didn't like about Diablo 3 was like, okay, you kind of do this and you're done. And I haven't played many MMOs, but back in the days of Diablo 3, I was like, you should introduce some MMO like elements to this. And not changing the gameplay, but having
what type of elements?
like persistent storylines and more with clans and reasons to play multiplayer and all this. And there are
Right.
like little bits of that. But that was when they were coming out with Diablo 4. They openly, after I was mocked for the stupid idea of doing that, 15 years ago or whatever, um, the that's they advertised that. It's like, oh, it's going to have MMO elements to it. I mean, I think they use that exact term.
Yeah, and they
And
do have clans and stuff, right?
yeah, they do, but I mean, I don't know that they get much play at all. I think they're almost irrelevant. Um, but the the promise of all that was there in this game. The framework is all there, and they just haven't done it. It's and again, if I don't want to spoil anything, but you've seen in the game how they have the towns you have to take over.
Hmm.
Right? Okay, so basically, briefly, there are towns. You play the campaign, and there are towns that are taken over by bad guys for one reason or another, and there are a bunch of different ones, and go back and forth. And there's also factions in this game that are kind of set up in the story, and you could easily imagine that they could do something with that, like, oh, I don't know, WoW. That depends heavily on factions, or at least it did at one time. I'm not a WoW expert by any means, but you basically had your two major factions, and you joined one of those, and it shaped a lot of what you did. So they know how to do these things, and they're just not. And people are complaining. They're like, the content. This is season 10 that's out now, and it's like, it's boring. It's the same thing again and again. And these are all valid accusations. And it's like they just won't take what's in front of them and apply it. And it's, I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. Having people engaged is how they make money. As a general foundation for how they make money, at least. And they're
Yeah,
just not doing it.
I would say I'm not much of a Twitch gamer myself either,
Yeah,
Michael.
nor
I
I.
don't, I mean, you're just taking your mouse and you're putting it over top of some sort of monster, and you left click or right click, and then you run to that spot, and whatever
Yeah.
is set for your left click and right click, you'll chop it up or fire a spell
And
at
there
it or
is,
something.
there are
So
skills you
it's
select and
not
things that
really,
are, there is some timing and such, but it's not like a fast Twitch game, right?
yeah, it's not. You don't, you
And
could
that's why I
play this
like it.
game.
It's because I'm too old for
Me
that crap,
too. Me too. I'm too old for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So you wouldn't
easy
have a
interface.
problem, Michael. And Weatherman, you're talking about Monogram effects flashing. There's not so much flashing in it. I mean, there's probably some, and like looking at I don't know for certain, but the controls are pretty detailed. Like they've got text to speech in this thing. I haven't tried it and stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have
I think you could
you
turn
could
all that
click
stuff
on
down.
something and
You could
yeah,
really
you can change the
diminish that.
gamma. I wouldn't be surprised if they had something like an epilepsy mode where you could turn it all off and stuff, so there wouldn't be any flashing and stuff, because they got like everything in there. They thought everything. I'm pretty, it's fairly impressive how much detail they've gone in through that and stuff. But yeah, no, I would agree with you, Cam. I don't see the the I don't know, but I don't see the need for clans. Like I know, I mean, I never played WoW. The most things I know about World of Warcraft is the Leroy Jenkins meme, probably.
Right.
But people would get together and they would spend hours and get themselves prepared and make their way to the final boss with 40 and 60 people in these raid groups, and they would have to work together to get things to do it just right. Otherwise, they would lose, as Leroy Jenkins shows us. So I mean that aspect I don't think is in there. Yeah. So
Yeah, and just
gold SSI box. Ooh.
there
That
are
might be yeah. That's all the old like strategy games, like war games.
oh yeah, yeah.
I believe. Um, I have a problem with those because sometimes those those old you used to do them, and those old control schemes and stuff. You just get lazy with all these new control schemes. You're like, why don't they just do it this way? It's so much easier. So sometimes I have problems going back to the old but I like some war games as well. Usually the ones that are not super complicated, but the more accessible ones. And I've been trying to find a really good operational level war game I could practice on. But anyway, that's another topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do maybe do a discussion on action RPGs if people like that. Like I said, I know a guy who's working on one.
Yeah, I honestly I wish there were more because it is my favorite general format just in terms of interface. So
Yeah, not my favorite, but it's fun. You can just you sit down in a couple hours, you just whatever. Pool of Radiance, Pool of Darkness. Yeah, it's it's kind of fun to do that.
yeah, and that's the one thing you could say about Diablo 4 is it is relatively easy to get into and play and have a little bit of fun once in a while. It's not a game for hardcore players. It's Blizzard does not shoot for that anymore. They're shooting for me, as an audience. So
So Michael's point here. Yeah, Paradox. I like a lot of Paradox's stuff as well. They're kind of one of my favorite game companies. I would tell you to check out Hooded Horse. They're kind of Paradox publishes a lot of their stuff, but they have been developing a bunch of new stuff lately, and their stuff is really good. They're fast becoming my, and especially some of the stuff that's coming out with that they're doing, they're becoming my, they're overtaking Paradox in my view. But I think Paradox is more of a publisher at this point, and Hooded Horse is kind of with them as well. But they've been doing some good stuff too. Check Hooded Horse out. Yeah, a lot of good stuff they have coming out. Okay. Yeah. Anything else we want to say about Diablo 4?
No, I think unless people are really super interested in it, which doesn't seem like our audience is. I think that's sufficient for now. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Okay, so like we said, we're going to spend the first half talking about various different things, and then the last half we're going to talk about what's coming up in science fiction. TV, movies, books, games, whatever. What we're looking forward to, and don't be afraid to jump in, audience, in the chat. Let us know what stuff that you're looking forward to in those areas. We have a couple other things though before we're going to get to that. What are we going to talk? We want to talk about. I want to talk about Space King really quick. I'm getting a little mad. There is. I've been seeing all these reactions to Space King on TV. All these young girls, like 20 somethings on their Twitch channels laughing about it and I'm like, ugh. We like Space King before it was cool. Now it's cool, apparently.
That's right. Go F yourself.
Screw those people.
Melissa.
I hate those people. Go screw them. Anyway, Space King seems to be taking off. People are liking it. They're really liking this. I think this third episode really caught on. I forgot to get a picture of it, but I started. Hooded Horse. Yeah, Hooded Horse is good. No, you didn't miss the tool segment. There's no tool segment today. So I just followed. I would recommend anybody, if you're on Twitter X, follow Hatemonger on Twitter X. He's
I've been seeing that lately.
Starting to, go crazy on Twitter and make jokes. And of course, if you've seen the third episode of Space King, where he's given the presentation to the AI about aliens and that sort of thing, that's become a meme now with him standing there, and they've taken out, they have the holographic note out there, and people have taken out what used to be in there, and they're putting their own, words in there, whatever you want. So, yeah, it's taking.
Yeah, I hope this show really does take off because it's, they get some more funding and such because it's pretty hilarious.
I don't usually get, buy things, like figurines or that kind of stuff because, they take up a lot of space and they gather dust, But I'm considering getting some Space King merch just because, it is pretty hilarious. If I did, I think I'd want the little gold statue of Space King that I could carry around and rub it. And talk to it.
Okay, get the box set
Space
then.
King,
You got
what should I do?
the drink, the cup,
The
and
cup. The cup.
and
You know what the censored thing in there is?
no. No. What
The
is it?
censored thing, they censor it on the thing. They don't show it on YouTube. It's a condom.
Oh,
It's a, wrapped up, and it's like, no girls or something, like,
mm.
which, I mean, it's kind of funny, but I don't particularly need that. But the cup is pretty funny. Yeah. Maybe Space King will be the next South Park. I mean, we're going to talk about that later, but I'm wondering where the next good stuff. That's maybe my theory, that the next big, TV or cultural, things are all on YouTube.
Uh,
Independent people doing these things like Space King. Um,
you know,
they're getting. There was a Space King came out. Somebody did. Do you have that? I don't know if you have that post. Cam, did you see it? Someone was like, "Oh, here's September. Here's the most watched videos on YouTube," and Space King wasn't included. And then people got up in arms and said, "Hey, you didn't include Space King," and then they put Space King back in there because it only had 3 days of September, and it still had a 1 point something million views.
Hmm.
But there was a couple other things on there which I haven't seen, but they had a ton of views as well. I mean, it seems like people are going. That might be where people are going to. But anyway, I was going to mention that later, but somebody brought it up early. Yeah, so we just wanted to mention. Anything else you want to mention about Space King? I think
no, but I do want to mention
curse
that
people.
that Jeff was roasting me. He's claiming I'm lazy regarding tool segment. I did actually buy a tool this weekend, but or a tool accessory, I should say.
We can't have a tool segment every week. We gotta play it up, right? Like, we gotta keep you guessing. Cam does a tool segment when he's got a new tool and he's had enough time to test it, and he talks about it. So we don't have it every week, but as much as we can. Yeah.
Okay.
You notice, since I think I mentioned this to you, but to our viewers, did you notice in Space King, we see everybody else's face, but we've never seen Hate Monger's face?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, eh? I wonder what that means. What could that be? Why not? Why do we not see his face? Anyway, maybe we'll find out. All right, what else did we want to talk about? Do you want to talk about your the RPG that you have started to get into?
Sure. You want to bring up that link?
Let me bring up the link.
As you're doing that, I'll mention. So a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember if it was. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I mentioned I had picked up, kind of on a whim, a role playing game called Coriolis: The Great Dark, which is a revised version of the original Coriolis game, which was, I think, called Coriolis: The Third Frontier or something like that.
Not so great dark. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And so this is a game is set like kind of in the future of that game. And so it's a sci-fi game put out by Free League Publishing, which is a company that I'm absolutely loving right now. And I unfortunately haven't been able to play it yet. I don't know if I'll ever get a group to play this game, to be honest with you, but they do have a solo version of it. But it's kind of a, I don't want to say apocalyptic, but it's kind of a, like well, it's not even dystopian, because that brings into
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, kind of, or it's like a survival kind of game, I guess, because you're on the edge of the universe kind of thing, where you're very alone. There's not a big society, and you're kind of exploring, empires from the past and such. So it's really an exploration game, as I understand it. Well, at the beginning, it just says you're explorers in a dangerous world. You do the work.
Yeah, it says here. I mean, the star portals are dead. Just shitty is dying. So it seems like it's like I don't know, the end of an empire type of thing, if not.
Yeah, it's more like that they fled from an empire and now they're basically refugees all by themselves out, somewhere, and then they've kind of cobbled together, the society out of, this diaspora, or a scattering, if you will. And I'm not that familiar with the original setting, so I couldn't tell you. But so it's one of these games where resources are slim. It's not that they have spaceships and they build spaceships and they go exploring and things like that, but it's not like they have abundant resources. They're kind of on the edge, and so you're playing this. The setting is that you have Ship City, which is basically an asteroid where all these ships that came out and they're scattering or whatever they called it, they're pioneering. They basically built into this thing, and it's this is their world. It's essentially a city-sized thing, and so there's all these guilds that are the kind of these powerful entities that formed, and are vying for power and such. They describe it as Byzantine, thematically. But your characters, all the characters in the game are part of the Explorers Guild, which is kind of like a minor guild, but they go out and well, explore things. So it has a little bit. I mean, I'm sure a lot of fantasy role playing games have obviously the exploration kind of thing, but this is a sci-fi version of it. There's a little mysticism kind of mixed into this. You have these things called birds, which are like some kind of alien entity that become, become allied with one of them, and then it, kind of levels up and does different abilities and can provide you with these benefits, and it helps protect you. There's I forget what it's called. Through this area, there's like a corrupting.
Yeah, the blight.
Yeah, the blight.
It was mentioned in the
right. So it's kind of like
first,
a never.
Yeah, back down here, they mentioned the blight right here.
Yeah, it's
blight,
like
a cataclysmic scourge that spreads from the ruins. Is your
right. So it's an ever-present threat that you have to deal with. So it's one of these. It's a mechanic for the game essentially that they build, and so you can't ever really be comfortable. You always have to be dealing with that. But your bird helps you with that in some ways. And so, you're kind of, they have a bunch of different classes, and things like that, that you could play, of course. And it looks, again, it's just, I have this habit of buying way more as do many role players, I suspect, buying way more games than you can ever play. Oh yeah. Coriolis: The Third Horizon. That was the predecessor game to this. Thank you.
Oh yeah. I mean, this looks, inspired by 19th century expeditions, deep sea diving, and pulp archaeology.
Mm-hmm.
Exploration and intrigue. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, and see, Free League Publishing here, which I mentioned before, they have a combination of their own properties and then various IPs, which we'll mention in a little bit. But they're not just doing the same. And again, don't get me wrong, I love fantasy role playing games, and I have nothing against there being a bunch of different ones. But it's kind of a tired concept in a lot of ways. It's also a classic concept, but there's more. There's many other things to explore in role playing, and so I'm kind of intrigued when they someone comes up with a cool idea, and I like that they relate, like you mentioned, it's kind of related to 19th century thematically. I like that too. It makes for kind of a rich built-in theme that you could that players can understand. Yeah. So we've talked about doing a online game with some people from the Sci-Fi for Me community and such, or I suppose you could say the Sci-Fi Snob community as well. A lot of crossover there, of course. So I don't know. It's fun. I plan on delving into it again, trying it out a little more. But it's just one example of Free League Publishing that to me is standing out as making rather innovative games that aren't all just the same system with something slapped on it, a different veneer on it. So I'm really enjoying kind of slowly. I have a habit of jumping in with both feet on various hobby things, but I want to kind of slowly go through their collection of stuff they're doing. Incidentally, the TV show and comic and then TV show that's been kind of popular lately, Invincible, which I don't know that much about. They're coming out with an adaptation of a superhero role-playing system based on Invincible, which I think I'm going to get. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's got about 10 days left. And I think I'm going to back it because I like superhero role-playing games. Again, this might be one that I never play. But I think I'm going to back it and get, not that I'm interested in the Invincible story, but just as a generic, used generically. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I volunteer. Death Angel Shadow. We get enough people. I'll figure that out. And here's the thing. I wouldn't mind running a game. We've talked about it with Gojira. Is kind of interested in role playing, and we were talking about doing something. But it's I'm I'm not tied into how you do these things well online. I know that there's virtual tabletops and all that stuff, and I'd like to keep it simple. But I would be interested in trying anything that works. I'm just not the best person to get that up and running, which is again why I always prod Jeff to help, and he just says,
Yeah,
"Screw you, Cam."
it's not too difficult. I have a group that we've been playing for the last couple of years, mostly on Roll20. And I know some people hate Roll20, but it's it's free and it's pretty easy to do. You get your map. We go on disc. We have a Discord server. We go on. We go through Discord. You go on the map, and you can reveal parts of the map as we go along.
Yeah, and I'm
And
not sure this game
we've
really
been really playing
requires a lot of tabletop
Oh,
interaction,
yeah.
but
We've been doing a lot of Mothership because one of
Mhm.
the guys is writing. He's got a couple modules for Mothership. I'm actually just editing the next his next module, which was it's going to release pretty soon. So yeah, so
That's cool. I haven't played it. I'd like to try that too.
what Mothership?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could join us. It's pretty simple. You die a lot. Don't. It's it's like the Alien RPG, except it's more deadly. Um, we've done we've done a couple of Alien ones too, and we've done some conversions where we've converted Alien to Mothership and vice versa as
Mhm.
well. So yeah, the Mothership, I like it because it's very simple. I've never even read the rules or anything. I don't care. I don't have the time to do that. And it's just like, you get very basic stats. You can roll up a character real quick, off you go, and you die a lot. So
Okay, well,
make sure your party has extra neutral party members that you can NPCs that you can.
Yeah, you're our in for that one. Oh, Michael says he'll play. Okay, good. We'll mark down
Yeah,
that as
it'd
one.
be very easy to do. Like I said, our guys do it, and it's very simple for them to do. Um, and I'm surprised how easy it goes. I prefer in person, and most of our players live in the same area where I live. But when you got to drive somewhere, and I mean, you just roll downstairs in your underwear and you just turn on your machine, and away you go. So yeah, it's pretty. Heard a lot about Mothership lately. Yeah, a couple of my buddies said he's got, like I said, I've play tested a bunch of his a couple of his modules. He's got a huge module that we did. It's basically 4 or 5 like modules worth of adventures in it. That's going to be his next thing that he puts out next year. But
let me
yeah,
ask you.
he's a good he's not a writer. He's like he's like you, Jeff. He works in telecom and IT type stuff, but he is surprisingly a good writer, and he puts these twists in his stories, which are good and make sense, and are are a little bit off the regular trope, so you don't always see them coming. So it's surprising, but anything more deadly than Cthulhu. I played a little bit of Cthulhu, but not a lot. I'd say yes. I'd say yes because, like I said, it's everything in Mothership it's like Alien. It's some sort of horror, right? Like you're like, oh look, oh yeah, and it's really hard to. Mothership has a system of stress, so every time you do something, if you fail, then you get stress, and for your high, like if you're oh, there's a monster there, let's shoot it. Your chances of hitting it, if you've got a 50 to 60% chance of hitting it, that's pretty good. Like that's what the Marines have, right? The regular characters tend to have less than that, so the Marines are hitting 50% of the time. But if you miss, then you get stress, and it's a cascading failure sort of thing. Once your stress gets high enough, and it's not that hard to get high enough, then you get a greater chance to fail, and you get more stress. The next thing you know, you are you're done. So it's pretty easy to die.
Well, is it a pure role playing, or is it kind of a board game-ish gamey role
No,
playing.
it's role playing, but it's it's a relatively simple, easy character creation. It's sci-fi horror, so expect to
Mhm.
die. It's not like D&D where I'm gonna keep my character forever and I'm gonna live. No, you're gonna die, and you're probably gonna take over another character. If your character lasts, you win if your character lasts the adventure, right?
Mm. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how it's pretty. It's pretty. I would say that it is as deadly in the Cthulhu type area. You don't go crazy from the monsters, but it's a very, like, these guys here, Coriolis, they make the Alien RPG, and it's kind of like it's very similar to that, but as I said, very cut down, very much less like Alien. I don't know how much people know about that. You're rolling a bunch of dice. You're rolling, you know, 8 dice, and if you roll sixes, each of them is a hit, and it's so there's much more die rolling. With Mothership, much less. It's like, oh, roll to hit. Oh, much more interpretation by the game master is called the warden. So he goes, you want to do what? Oh, okay. All right, roll this, and if you do it, you get more flexibility. If you get, if you succeed, then I'll let you do this, and if you don't, then
Hmm.
not, kind of thing. So
Well,
good for simplicity for me, because I don't want to read a ton of rules. I can't. I don't want to have to worry about that.
Free League also has a game called Death in Space that sounds very similar to what you just described. So maybe I don't know if maybe they saw that, saw the success of this and said, "Oh, we could do something like that too." Or I have no idea when this game came out, but I just
I can approach my buddy and ask him about. He doesn't need it now, but at some point, you might need to put people through another playtest of his stuff.
Mhm.
I talked to him. He says he doesn't need any more playtests now. But what would be good? What would be good though is to give somebody the rule, like have someone who knows the rules, give him this module, and you play it without him, and
Mhm.
see how you interpret it and find the
Right.
weaknesses
Yeah.
in the
Obviously.
module. By
Yeah,
like,
because
oh, we didn't get this, we didn't get that. Right?
no designer can self-evaluate. I mean, it's just
He's put us through it, and we can come and say XYZ, but again, he knows the whole, storyline, so he can cover up his mistakes and stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
but you can get some of his stuff online. If anybody's interested, I'll pass it on later.
Cool. Well, you should have him on the show at some point.
I offered to get him on the show, but he didn't want to come on.
What a jerk! I'm not
When
buying
he-
anything from that guy.
When he was doing his first thing, I'm like, hey, come on the show, and he's like,
Well,
I
that's
don't
too
think I
harsh.
need to.
I understand why no one would want to associate with us. So
Yeah, it's just he didn't really need to do his Kickstarters. Are they did first one did 12,000, and then I think his latest one did 8,000. So it's doing less, but he's got a small one pager out as well. So
I mean, and he's a third party producer, so it's not
third
like
party
he's
producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I think his stuff is generally better than the average story writing, and I edited it all, so I of course have to think it's good. But I'm a little biased, but yeah.
Cool. Just
Mothership stuff.
quick note is I did. You asked what I was doing in terms of sci-fi. I did also today pick up the Blade Runner role playing game starter set from Free League. Also, I just opened the box. I haven't had a chance to look at it all. I have read or watched a video on a review of it by Dungeon Craft channel, which is excellent. You should check that out if you like role playing stuff. And he was raving about it. He was like, "Man, this is like thematically, it's right, hitting everything, for the Blade Runner universe, and of course, it's very dystopian,
Yeah.
But so I'm looking forward to that too. I have these cycles of things where it's like, oh, I delve into whatever hobby, my many hobbies I have, and unfortunately, I don't get to play that much. But
yes, Weatherman, we are the dregs of YouTube.
That's true. Bottom. We're the bottom feeders.
All right. But yeah, it's kind of what was I going to say? It's kind of interesting. I'm going to complain about this when we get to the second half of the show. All the innovative stuff is being done by individuals. I mean, it's like these RPGs that people are coming up with. You're like, wow, what a great innovative idea! These people are, it's all these independents that are coming up with these great ideas. We're not seeing that from the mainstream.
Well,
Anywhere.
yeah. I don't know what is mainstream these days, though. I mean,
Well,
WotC, obviously.
yeah, this. I mean, in general, the Star Wars, the Star
Oh,
Trek,
yeah.
the mainstream in anything, the WotC, or exactly that you would consider them the mainstream in, if you said the mainstream in RPGs, you'd go with Dungeons and Dragons, of course, right? Like that would be
Yeah.
your first. But these people are doing the innovative stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
what's the innovation that WotC's coming out? Oh, let's have characters in wheelchairs.
Right.
What?
It's garbage.
Like, how
It,
is that innovative? That's
well, and it's as much as I love the D20 system, that was formalized. I mean,
really.
everything's been D20 forever, but
I'm not really a big fan of it.
well, well, let me finish. As much as I enjoy it, and Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, which basically was the origination of it, I, it is boring a little bit at some point, and I like game systems, and that's why I like Free League because, well, first of all, they're Swedish, so they're not really immersed in the nonsense that Portland is, where a lot of these other games are made, and it's this or somewhere up in the northwest, whereas the coast is. It's that mindset though that kind of dominates things. It's been robbed from its proper place in the Midwest, but um, some games just don't work as well for that. And from what I've seen from the Free League games, like the first one I bought of theirs was the One Ring, which is a Tolkien one, and they do have a 5e compatible version of that, but their own one, the rules are made to represent Tolkien's world. The way that the game works is not like D&D. It's not just D&D with a Tolkien veneer on it. It's it's its own game that has its own mechanics that help the players experience things more in the way that the books present. And I like that. I think it's cool that they're doing that. And while they do use the same system several times, they don't have one system. They have several. And so I like that innovation. They're not indie; they're a small company, but I do like the innovation that's coming from other segments.
Yeah, and I'm just showing them on the screen here the lists of the games, and you can see the One Ring right there.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing the Alien role playing game. I didn't know that before that these guys were doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like I said, I've played that one. Walking Dead universe. I mean, look, and they got the Blade Runner one here. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff that they're.
Yeah, they've got half a dozen or more fantasy ones, and then probably half a dozen or 8 or kind of sci-fi ones, and they have some other ones that are kind of in between. It's like a steampunk-ish, like Black Powder and Brimstone, for example, is one of those.
That's the one.
And, yeah.
I got to say, back in the day, 40 years ago, I played a fair amount of a D6 series one, Champions, and they made a bunch of other a secret agent one based on that whole D6 system, and I enjoyed the D6 system. It was kind of fun. Build your character with points and then basically roll big mounds of D6 dice when you're.
Are you talking about Champions, the hero, superhero game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was my, one of my favorite go-to ones.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of flexibility. You could just do about anything you wanted for that. Yeah. And I would agree with Weatherman there. Weatherman, the mainstream games are captured and turned in political mouthpieces for agenda. Yeah, and that's what WotC seems to do.
Yeah, they're not interested in producing games. They're interested in producing slop.
They're not producing anything. They're just like, here's our thing. Oh, and occasionally, sometimes let's put a bunch of crap in there, for the woke agenda. Like, no, we want entertainment. That's what we want to try to do.
Michael,
Twilight. Michael's talking about.
Actually, Free League has a Twilight 2000.
Yeah, they have it. Yeah. They had it right here, Twilight 2000, which is the original. That's the original, right? Like, there's Twilight through 2000 was an original game when I
Right.
remember it from the 80s.
Yeah, that was a huge. Some guys in my game group in the
Pretty big.
'90s were big fans of that when they were like in high school, in the '80s and
Yeah,
such.
yeah.
This is I don't have the game, but when I was looking, I think it's set in Poland, in the '90s or something, maybe. Could look at it real quick if you wanted to, but so
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
one of the
retro
big.
game,
Yeah, that's one of the big ones from back in the day. Twilight, Traveler, Champions, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. So Twilight 2013 is a continuation. So they redid it, and yeah, yeah.
Yep. All right, have
So
we covered that, or we
I
got
think
any
we did.
more? Okay.
All right. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about? Okay, before we can move on to my disappointment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's do it.
Go on to that. We talked about Space King, Diablo 4, RPG. No, okay, all right. Let me just take this off. Let's go back to here. Let's get everything back. Yeah, all right. So, what about? Okay, let's talk about what we're looking forward to. And people in the chat, don't be afraid to chime in. What do you want to talk about first, Cam? You want to talk about? Let's save you want to save movies and TVs till the end.
Well, maybe we should talk about
Let's
those first because
talk
they're
about
the
those
most
first.
disappointing.
I was gonna say, all right, we can talk about that first, I guess. All right, let's talk about. I got to do a little bit of switching here. So you want to talk about movies first?
Sure.
Okay, let's pull this up. So this is looking forward to movies. So I gotta say, it was very difficult for me to try to find something positive to talk about with these things. So, are there any Marvel stuff that you're looking forward to?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Literally
Next
nothing.
topic. Okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna go against you a little bit, and I gotta. I mean, we both agree Marvel has been horrible in the last 5 years. They have just been putting out crap. Now, Marvel Avengers Doomsday. I think this has a glimmer of hope. They might be getting back on track. Now, far be it from me to be a cheerleader. I have basically written off everybody, but I'm happy to say, hey, if you do something good, I'm going to say, hey, you did something good. If you do something crappy, I'm going to say it's crappy. They've been putting out mainly crap in the last 5 years now, but this movie has a glimmer of hope to it. Now, I'm going to kind of go over what I see as the positives, the things that give me a glimmer of hope, and then the things that are negative, which make me worried. Tron Ares. Isn't that out? Did that come out, or is it coming out in the next couple of days?
I think it's coming out next week, isn't it?
Next week.
Or is it this week?
Premieres 10/10.
Okay.
I've heard not kind of back and forth. Feige has made me not expect anything good from Marvel. Okay, so yeah, me too. So okay, so let me just give you a little bit. Marvel Avengers. They're talking about a trailer. It is thought to be coming out in perhaps the 8 to 12 December, which is in time for Avatar 3 coming out. So it might be a trailer as part of Avatar 3. It might come out a little bit after that. People don't know. So there's very little about the movie. There's no trailer, and probably about 2 months to another trailer. But again, this is all rumor. Now, on the positive side, the Russo brothers are directing it. And they're the guys who did Endgame and Infinity War, which were arguably two of the top 5 movies in the phase 3 of Marvel, and I think they were pretty good. So they potentially the possibility is there that it could be good. They have a now on the There's rumors that the ending might be a little bit dark, sort of like Infinity War was, where it ended and it was like, oh, that's not a positive ending. Now there's been there's talk about reshoots. The cast is huge. There's been some rumors from the coming out from the cast that they don't actually have a full script. There's no script, and they haven't written a script. They've been shooting these huge battle scenes, and they have yet to have a script that puts them all together, which is not a good thing. That could potentially be, negative. Now, I'm not sure how they did it with Infinity War and Endgame, but maybe it'll work out. The Russos seem to do well on those ones. This is completely rumors. This is stuff I've heard online, and this could be just fans, theory casting and stuff. There's no proof to any of this next stuff that I have at all. But it's rumored that there'll be Doom is going to be some sort of multiverse problem, which is not not great. Sometimes the multiverse you get in there, but it fits in with everything else. So there's a rumor, that's the sort of the main rumor. But I've heard, rumors with even less likelihood of being correct, that it perhaps might focus on Steve Rogers, and that somehow Steve Rogers, he in Endgame, he goes back and he lives his life with Peggy. He doesn't come back. That might somehow set off Dr. Doom. Somehow have changed his universe so that his family is destroyed, and then he's come for revenge or to fix things. And there is a rumor about a cast of characters with Doom, which would include like an evil version of Captain America, a bunch of other Thanos as one of Doom's, a version of Thanos that would be one of Doom's minions, a bunch of stuff like that. So, potentially it could be, a very impactful and good story. But again, they haven't done anything good lately. So I'm like, to me, it's a crapshoot. So this is that's Marvel's MO, film crap and try to put a story together after they spent $500 million. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how much they did this in. I mean, if that's how they filmed Infinity War and Endgame, it worked for those movies in my view. So that might be okay, maybe, but it's kind of hard to say. If you start a movie and you don't have a script, that's not good. Feige multiverse cringe. Yeah, it seems a little bit, too much multiverse. Okay, I'm not sure what Michael you're talking about. Flynn is going to stay in the construct forever. Oh, though you're talking about Tron Ares. You noticed in the Tron. The first two Tron movies have Tron and then the girl with him, and then this one has him by himself. Like, how come? Where is Tron in the Tron universe? That seems like a bit of a mistake. But anyway, all right, PB. Disney's ideology captured by social ideology activists massacring his writers. Yes, ma'am, she won't stop till all the woke people are gone. Yeah, I don't know this. I tend to agree. But I just have heard some positive stuff about this movie that maybe they are finally getting away from that. Now, again, I'm not, don't take it to the bank. I doubt if I'll be seeing this movie on the first day type of thing. I would wait and see if, from reviewers, if it's crap or not. But I have a glimmer of hope, which is I haven't had for 5 years. So, I don't know, but I thought I would highlight that. Cam, your comments.
I have no interest in anything Disney's producing.
Okay, that's very helpful. I'm trying to be positive to the audience.
Let's pretend that
maybe something is coming. Maybe
let's pretend that I didn't have reason to hate Disney. Um, I this seems like rehashed crap to me. It's like it seems like something that they have run out of ideas, and while Marvel has an extremely rich, uh, bench of things,
Yes.
they take Fantastic Four, which is a premier property, and produce garbage with it. I mean, it's like why would I, again, just as an enjoyer of movies, why would I go to see this given what they've been doing? So, I mean, you
All right.
said, oh, okay, I'll wait to see, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I mean, it
With
certainly wouldn't
everything.
be top on my list. I mean,
Yeah. I'm reaching for straws. Yeah, you might be right, PB. Maybe I'm being a little bit overly positive.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? I suggest
But
people.
I'm trying to
I,
find hope in
I
a sea of hopelessness.
I want people to
Yeah.
enjoy what they enjoy,
Yeah.
but I think I would suggest that you will find yourself feeling free and liberated if you just um, divest yourself of these things. It's like, oh, I feel so attached to this. I've seen 20 movies. I want to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, stop doing that. Stop thinking about that. Just judge
And
things on, does it look good or not,
yeah.
and
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 I'm
you'll
not
be
attached.
happier.
I'm not. I personally, if you're talking about me personally, I'm not
No,
attached.
I mean anybody.
That's advice. Your advice is for everybody. I hope, because I'm not
Mhm.
attached. Jason has talked about this on his show, and I usually zone out when people start going, "Oh, look at this, look at that, Star Trek, blah blah blah." I'm like, call me when they put something good out. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the same thing with Star Trek. Again, I was a huge Star Trek fan. It's like, why am I going to bang my head against the wall? Like Doomcock, he loves Star Trek, and he just is like losing his mind over this stuff. And I'm not blaming him. And it's like, but at some point, I'm just like, I'm going to stop wasting my time on this. I have other things I could do,
yeah. There's
and
got to be something
maybe we'll
good.
mention that.
Yeah, Foundation. I was going to talk about Foundation a little bit. Yeah. All right. We're going. I'm starting with movies and the big science fiction properties. So next, Star Wars. Looking forward. Mandalorian and Grogu. This is the big one that's coming out. Cam, what are your?
You're not going to like this. I already said it. I'm not back anything Disney, and okay. I'll drop that for the moment. Let's say I was not engaged in a personal boycott. Star Wars universe has been ruined for me, just in itself. Now, Mandalorian was kind of a standout, but I gave up on that too. And I just stopped watching it. I mean, does this, I saw the preview or whatever for it, and it's like, okay, sure, and I'm sure it won't be terrible. It'll probably, be relatively entertaining.
There is a
But
trailer out for this.
yeah,
Yeah.
but how many times do I need to set myself up for disappointment? It's just, I love the poster. I really like the serial, classic.
Yeah, it's a bit of a classic throwback. Yeah, 50s, 40s style. Yeah, I'm not. Again, I mean, I agree with Jeff. I'll reserve judgment, but I don't have any interest in this at all. I don't think it's going to be good at all. You know, I thought that the Mandalorian season 1 and 2 was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay, and then season 3 was horrible, and this whole baby Yoda guy running around. It's just comical and becomes silly. And my understanding was they planned to get rid of him, but then, all the girls were gushing over him. So they're like, we got to keep him in now. And I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah. So I don't really have any, I would be more interested in Marvel simply because I think it has that Marvel Doomsday has a bigger chance of success, that it actually might be a good story compared to this thing. I think that this thing is going to be just
Well,
garbage.
that's an interesting question. It's
That's
like,
my own personal.
if I was, interested in Disney things, which one would I be more interested in, Marvel or Star Wars? I don't know. I might say Star Wars because, like, what was the Rogue One things? Andor.
Yeah,
Those
Andor
would have been
was
right in my wheelhouse. That's my era that I love, and I could, I could kind of pretend that the sequel stuff never happened.
yeah.
It's before that, and I could just ignore it, I suppose. Um, so there might be something there I would enjoy. Uh,
So
but I
I
mean, Avengers, or I'm sorry, Marvel. It just doesn't interest me at all at this point.
yeah, I just think they seem to have, like, the people who are running Marvel seem to have a better chance of pulling it back from the abyss. That's why I think I'm more interested in that. Though I got
Mm.
to say, I mean, I saw season 1 of Andor. I haven't seen season 2, but people are raving about season 2. It's just a slow burn, and then it's and I think season 2 would really appeal to me. I have to, I kind of got to see it, but yeah, I don't think this will be. This is just oh, we like the Baby Yoda. Let's do a Baby Yoda movie. Like, it just doesn't seem
Well,
like.
I don't know. Would you rather have a movie with Baby Yoda that is well? This is a Yoda movie, but
I
would
just think
you
it's dumb.
rather? Okay, that's fine. But
But
would you
but
rather have a dumb story that has a purpose and a plot, or a cobbled together piece of collection of crap that doesn't even have a story when they're filming it?
yeah, wow, it make it. I mean, I just don't. I don't have the way you framed it. I don't have. I think you've got more faith in this, that this story is not a piece of crap, because it's just
Well,
season 3 was really bad,
no,
and
there's
season 1 and 2 were not that great
okay. There's a difference
themselves.
in what I'm saying here. The distinction I'm making is
Yeah,
a story that is written and filmed to follow that story, or something, if the rumors are true, that isn't, because we've seen that. That's what She-Hulk was, apparently. That's what
yeah.
you know.
She Hulk was pretty bad.
They
I couldn't
just
get through
film
that.
scenes and then say, well, how are we going to knit these things together? That's
Yeah.
guaranteed to be garbage.
But I agree with Death Angel Shadow here. Like, with KK there for sure. Anyway, I don't know about Iger, but KK, like, this isn't going to change. So why is this going to be any better? At least Marvel has sent, seems to be sending signals that they're trying to fix it. But I don't think that these guys are trying to fix anything, because KK's still there. I mean, what the hell? Yeah. So that's kind of my feeling about it. Yeah. So again, it's a toss up. All right.
Yeah.
Any other comments that you want to mention?
Well,
All right. Let's try to season 3 of Silo coming out. I've seen season 1 and into season 2. Did I finish off season 2? Silo's pretty good.
oh,
I think Silo's pretty good.
okay. I don't know of. I literally can't think. I mean, is there something that I can't think of any single
Yeah.
sci-fi?
This is the perfect comment here. Baby Yoda is a new Elmo. Yeah, that's exactly.
Hmm? Elmo was very
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
not Elmo doesn't appeal to me. Come on.
okay, that's fine.
That's for
Okay,
4-year-old kids.
where does Star Wars fall on your? If you had a 10-1 of all
I
your sci-fi stuff, where would Star Wars fall for you?
what? Sorry, what do you mean? Like,
Meaning
how?
of things that you really love in sci-fi, broad sci-fi. Where does Star Wars fall?
6.
Okay,
I have
so
to
you're not
say,
really a huge Star Wars fan to begin with,
I'm
then,
a
right?
fan, but because
Nah, I mean,
movies and stuff. But
okay.
I'm like I like books and things that Star Wars isn't that innovative when it comes to science fiction, right?
No, no.
It's about a 6 in innovation, and it's good, and lots of people know and like it, but it's not. There are some really innovative stuff there, but the books and movies are different. I just wanted to, Andor should have been Rise to Rebellion, and not tied to Cassian. Yeah, I mean, I've said this about Star Wars before. I think they should be doing 3 different properties with Star Wars. They should be doing. So first of all, people our age are the ones who saw Star Wars originally when we were kids. So they should be doing some Star Wars that they don't have to be R-rated, but it would be focused on the adults who grew up with Star Wars, so us, and that would be things like Andor. That fits in there perfectly. And then they should be focusing on kid things, which would bring in the new kids who weren't there 50 years ago when it first came out, and that would be more of your animation style stuff, what would I think Clone Wars kind of straddles that. It's not quite
Well,
in
Clone
there,
Wars
but
successfully brought in the next
yeah,
generation,
it
right?
did. So
It
kind
succeeded.
of like kind of Clone Wars, but there was a couple other properties before that. What's the one that Jason said was pretty good that came out a
Oh,
couple months ago last year?
uh, the one with the kids.
Yeah, and I didn't see any of it, but that would be in that kid friendly type thing. And then there was one there was Star Wars, was it, I think it's Star Wars, not Rebels, but Rebellion, Star Wars Rebellion, which was a little bit lame, but it was focused on kids. And then I see the sort of the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels as sort of um, uh, straddling the two, right? It's kind of for kids, but you can watch it as an adult, and you're not usually, not always, but usually you're not sort of like, oh, come on, you can actually watch it and enjoy it. So I put those in there, and sorry, the third category is what I would call a general audience, which what I would put in the original Star Wars. I would put that into, you can watch it as a kid, you can watch it as an adult, and get something out of it. It's for everyone. So that's how if I was in charge of Star Wars, that's what I would be doing. Bring in the kids, couple things for the old time fans who grew up with it, and then sort of the general audience stuff, which would kind of focus on your movies, be for everybody. But that's how I would fix Star Wars. But I don't see that they can do that. Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I think that the sweet spot for Star Wars is the Rebellion.
PB has no hope.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him there. The sweet spot is Rebellion era, and Clone Wars obviously is the prequel to that,
Yeah.
which is fine, and that's for some people that's their core of it. But the stuff after that, I'm not that interested. It's
The sequels are horrible writing. They should just say, "Hey,
Yeah.
forget." It's objectively horrible.
yes.
It's just bad. Let's try to talk about Peacemaker. I'm up to I cut up to Peacemaker. I've been watching it, and it's got one more episode this Thursday, which I think is the final of the season. I've been watching it, and it is setting up premises for. They are trying to put things together in Peacemaker. It references stuff that happened, and it's they're trying to put all that together, at least have it refer to each other, and it seems to be. It seems to be doing a better job than Marvel did with like, oh, you got to watch all these things. But anyway, we can talk about that later. But yeah, all right. So yeah, I don't have much faith in this. I have less faith in the Mandalorian and Grogu. I just don't think. I think it's going to be Baby Yoda lame, as opposed to I have a little more faith in Doomsday. But that said, I mean, my faith is pretty low because they've destroyed my expectations these last 5 years with their stuff. All right, I'm going to go to the next. Star Wars Starfighter. Have you heard of this, Cam?
No.
So this is Ryan Gosling is doing a movie. It's might not be out of the Star Wars. What should I have talked more about? No. All right. It's supposedly it is not in the Skywalker, kind of a standalone movie. It might be a trilogy. Nothing about it yet. No trailers, no nothing. Ryan Gosling is the lead. Supposedly, it's some sort of, what do they call this? Guy and his kid. Bringing his kid up to the, teaching his kid something, type of thing. But we don't know much about it. Other than it started filming in when it start filming? Oh, it just started filming in the end of August. So they've been in the UK. So it's been filming for like a month, maybe 6 weeks. In the UK and in Italy, apparently. A large part of it taking place around the Mediterranean Sea. But that's it. Not much known about it. Set for release in May of 2027. So, a year and a half plus away. So I don't know anything about this other than what I've sort of filled you in. See what happens. But they're trying to, push stuff. You guys are just killing it in the comments. All right. Hoot Owl thinks the Tron Ares flop is pending too. I think it's going to be a flop as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about anything else? These franchises are dead to me. So what else
Well,
is there, though?
we got to go through them. I mean, these are the big things. The audience demands it, Cam.
Okay, it's getting late. Let's get moving.
All right. Sorry. Okay, so Star Trek. I left it blank because I don't see anything that is going on in Star Trek that is going to save it. What the hell what are they doing? They destroyed themselves with Strange New Worlds is garbage. This new Star Trek Academy, nobody likes that. What's going on? I mean, nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't seem to be doing anything that can save them.
I think Star Trek is easily saved though, because if someone could, had the ability, they could just say, look, all this Kelvin Trek crap and all it's just gone. It was some alternate thing. It's not part of this timeline. Here we are. Now I think that they made a mistake. Everyone raved about the Picard show. Oh, it's so great and blah blah. It's like
Picard sucked.
Yeah, they fed the third season, I should say. The third season Picard.
Third season look. Everybody comes out and say, "Oh, it had so great." It was not good.
No,
I mean, they screwed the pooch with 2 seasons, and then they're like, "Okay, we're going to bring everyone's."
And they threw out a bunch of member berries, and people said, "Oh, I'm starving."
Like, it's so great. I'm starving, so give me this crumb, and I like it. I'm like, I've heard people, oh yeah, it was pretty good. No, it was garbage.
Yeah,
it just was. The garbage didn't stink as bad as the garbage you got before, and the garbage in season 1 and 2. I mean, I watched it. That was bad. There's so many. You're like, what the hell is going on? This is just dumb.
Right.
I can't believe someone got paid to write this crap.
Well, my point of mentioning that is that I think that is the biggest wall to fixing things in the regular universe is by because that exists, whereas they could have otherwise pretty much easily just said, no, this stuff's all gone. They didn't really mess with the regular universe all that much. And so it could have been easily said, yeah, that's that. And this is this. And here we go. We're going forward, get someone like Frakes. It's like, yeah, he's old now. And it's like, okay, then you kind of fill in a backstory. It's like same thing where you from the original series to the next generation is you jump forward and it's now this is a new thing. And we're resetting whatever the Federation is today. And we go forward. And theoretically someone could come up with a good story.
Yeah,
and way to go forward, and then you just kind of discard the baggage. It's easy whereas Star Wars, I think it's much harder to do that.
So I mean, okay, I see your point, and that's why I put nothing here is because there doesn't seem to be any plans for Star Trek, so we can't say, we can't go, oh, there's a hint that they might be getting back on track.
Well,
right? Which is what my point with Marvel is, that here's a hint that they might be getting back on track, right? Look, they've got the Russo brothers. They're doing this. They're doing that. Maybe we see something. Now, I mean, I think we're right. Like, they've got a problem. Like, they're in limbo. Just Weatherman's got it right perfect here. It's got Kurtzman. They're kind of
they've got a lot of external problems.
They need to wait until they can't do anything. So that's my kind of I kind of agree with that. All right, I'm gonna get back to. Star Trek Academy. I think that's garbage. No one's talking about that. That's done. This is what people have been talking about. Maybe Skydance will trash it, and there'll be something good that comes about out of that. Let me just go back to. Okay, Doctor Who. We're going to move on to Doctor Who. So Doctor Who, again, I just put, it's a nice picture. Doctor Who is in limbo, I think, as well. We don't know anything about it. They ended with what's her name there as coming out as a doctor, and then they just sort of canned it. And I think that the director or the writer put that in because he was pissed or something. Nobody knows what's going to happen with this, and I looked up, see what I could see. There's nothing.
Yeah, I think it was a poison pill. It's like, oh, look what you could have had if you didn't fire me. You know,
I think
people who like that.
I think it's a poison. No, I think it's a poison pill in that. Here, I'm going to put this in here, and I'll see what you do with that. How are you going to fix that? I screwed it up for you. It's like Ryan Johnson in The Last Jedi. I screwed this up. Now let me see you try to fix this.
Yeah.
That's my thought about it. But and there's, again, I could not find any. I don't think there's anything in Doctor Who that we need to know that, lets us go and say, okay, they're trying to fix it or they're going to do this. Yeah. All right. I'm going back a little bit. Picard season 3 insulted my intelligence. I felt the same way. I just thought it was just, baloney. I couldn't believe that anybody in the YouTube space fell for it and said, "Oh, it's not that bad." No, it's garbage. No better than, slightly better than the other garbage that came out. Yeah. PB, I agree with you. I've just kind of been sitting back and saying, hey, I'm not going to pay attention until I see something that has some sort of something into it that makes me, think of something positive might be happening. Until then, no. Yeah. All right. Is that all we wanted to? That's all I really want to talk about with movies. Tried to cover the big.
Well, okay.
The big three.
Quick question: anything else with movies, and any other possibilities that even remotely on the horizon?
Are you asking me or are you asking the chat?
Well, anybody. I don't know of anything. I'm like, oh no, there's this really. Well, I take it back. Godzilla, the Godzilla -1 franchise. That's something I'm looking forward to seeing more from.
Yeah. Not as big a franchise. Okay. Yeah. So, Who Doll, you moving to UK to fix Doctor Who. Yeah, I don't know if he's gone woke and he's senile, but I think that was just people who like Doctor Who saying, "Hey, this guy wrote Babylon 5. We like that." He's moving to the UK. I think he's moving to the UK to, get away from Trump or something, or whatever he wants to move. He's got enough money. And I think that people went, "Oh, maybe this guy will save Doctor Who." I don't think there's necessarily any plans for it. Maybe there is, but there's nothing that, I think that's people just saying, "Hey, we hope."
Well,
but, yeah,
I didn't say anything about Doctor Who. I'm glad I jumped off that train when I did, and that went bad a long time ago, as far as I'm concerned. And hung on for way too long.
I lost it at the Capaldi stuff, but I'm kind of glad I didn't go any further than that. That's just garbage. And even Doctor Who, I was looking at it, and they were, there's nothing about Doctor Who. The last information we have about Doctor Who is it getting trashed by one of the former Doctor Who's. He's trashing it. Who is it? Sorry,
Colin Baker.
Yeah, Colin Baker. Yeah, trashing it. That's the last information we have from Doctor Who. She's trashing. He's like, "You guys are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?" It's like, what does he say? I don't have someone ask him what's going to happen. I don't have a clue, but I suspect it's a load of old malarkey.
Yes.
He's like, "What the hell's going on?" So, so that's about it.
Okay. So no hope for anything else, and TV shows.
I don't have much hope on the horizon for movies.
No.
Well, I don't know. Nothing for you. I don't see anything good coming out of the big.
Can't think of a single
thing. Big movie franchises.
I mean, look what they. Well, turn to other things. Alien. Well, they just had the TV show, which I haven't watched, but I heard is horrible. Even people that liked it, I think, at the end they were like, "Oh my god, this sucked." You know?
So
So
I think I've seen the first 2 episodes. I'm trying to watch more of it, but it's just, I've seen the criticisms of it, and I've already seen that they're true at the start, right? Like
mm,
it's a bunch of they put a bunch of kids into android bodies, and then an alien ship crashes on Earth, and they'll send, "Hey, let's send these children in there." I mean, they're in bodies that are, you know, very strong. I mean, they're not going to be. But why the hell would you send them in there? Oh, there's a ship that crashed, and we know that there's some sort of, they know that that this ship has a bunch of different biological entities, like aliens plus other stuff that the company has, got from other planets. But let's send these kids in there to investigate it. What the hell are you doing? Why would you do that? Yeah, it's just stupid. So I was going to talk about that's part of the. All right, let's go. Go to TV series. So there's a couple TV series. Just upcoming TV shows from 2025. Strange New Worlds. Well, I think they shit the bed on that one. I don't think that we need to talk about that. Have you heard about Murderbot? Cam came out in June. I have not seen it.
no, I
Is
haven't seen
that
it.
let's see? It is a seems to be some interesting. Anybody in the chat know anything about Murderbot? I'm curious. Yeah, I haven't seen it myself. What is it on? It was released in June. It is based on the Murderbot Diary series. It's on Apple Plus. A story about a part human, part robot who have been designed as security personnel. It finds independence, starts to develop friendships, and discovers emotions, which intervene directly with its overriding desire to complete dangerous missions and ultimately be alone. So, Alexander Skarsgård, titular character, might be good. I don't know if anybody have seen it. That might be potentially, yeah. Others ones that have been listed. Ironheart. Well, that was complete and utter crap. Marvel, as we know. Strange New Worlds, I said, was crap. Alien Earth. Maybe talk about that one a little bit. Alien Earth, yeah, very lame. I'm beating myself to try to watch the rest of it. I'm trying to get through it, but I'm just like, oh, this is really, and I think it gets worse at the end. They basically, I don't know, tyranny or something like that. Other ones, Gen 5, Gen V, season 2. Do you know about that one, Cam?
No.
So you know about The Boys, right?
Yes.
I don't think you don't like The Boys, do you?
No. Utter shit.
I kind of enjoyed it. I think it's getting a little bad on the later seasons, like season 4. But I kind of like these, these superhero stories that flip the tables. And I saw the first season of this storyline, and it was basically similar to The Boys, but it was a little less deviant and degenerate, and it was focused on these university kids. I didn't think it wasn't bad. So they have it's supposedly released a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen it. The second season, potentially it could be, potentially. Marvel Zombies. Did you read any of the Marvel Zombies comic book?
No. I remember them, but I never got into that.
That was released supposedly 2 days ago. So I think they just sort of took the Marvel Zombies comics, put them into, I don't know if people like that stuff. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, it was
The
very
comics
popular.
were all right. I read a bunch of them, a couple years ago. I mean, there was all, you get to see Captain America as a zombie and stuff. I mean, it was very elseworldy, but I don't know. Maybe people enjoy that.
Well, is this their Halloween thing?
Well, it wasn't specific. Marvel Zombies isn't specifically for Halloween. I don't think, because they put
I'm
out
saying the release of it.
Oh well, it's the release date was 2 days ago, October 3rd. I don't know if it's for if it has anything to do with
Well, is this on Disney Plus or what? Where is this?
It should be on Disney, I would think. That's
okay. Because a couple of years ago they did like the
Pretty
Werewolf
solid.
by Night thing or something, which I think some people liked.
Yeah, but they're it's an animated adventure Marvel Zombies. They did it in, I think it's similar to the What If stuff that they've been doing.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
I didn't feel that PB. I didn't feel that the Gen Z was very much pushing the message. I mean, if you're a shapeshifter character, you can change gender. You're right. There was that character did change gender a bit. Um, I kind of felt that fit into the storyline, but it was kind of like, um, I generally kind of like The Boys because it subverts the superhero um, genre.
Oh, great. Yeah, I haven't had 30 years of that.
Well, I mean, you know that more than me because you're more of a comic book. Now, this might be interesting. Neuromancer. Have you read William Gibson's book, Cam?
I haven't read it. I'm familiar with it,
What?
at least slightly. Yeah.
The book that coined the term cyberspace and all jacking in and all this stuff. They're set to turn it into sometime next year, I assume now. Turn it into a TV show.
Hmm.
Now there is Keanu Reeves did a movie in the late '90s called Neuromancer. I think it was called Neuromancer, which doesn't really follow. I mean, it's got the ideas of the book, but I don't think it really follows the book. So you can watch that. It's not bad. This is an Apple TV show, but I think it's going to follow the book a little more closely. Potentially, it could be good. Blade Runner 2099. Heard about that? Supposedly
Uh,
releasing this year, but at this point, I don't think it'll probably be next year.
well, I didn't see the first sequel, so I should. That's something I should catch up on. I heard it was okay, but
This is a TV series. These are
oh,
all TV
really?
series. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a sequel to 2049. You're right. It's developing on Amazon. 50 years after the movie.
Hmm.
Continue the show's concepts. The cast includes Michelle Yeoh, so she's pretty good usually. But you don't know much other than that. But potentially something that you might look at.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd check that out.
Um, have you watched For All Mankind? Yeah.
No, that's a show I've been wanting to watch.
So I watched I got into, I think I made it to season 3, and then they had the main character's wife uh, have an affair with her dead son's best friend.
Yeah, I
The
remember you
son
mentioned
died when
something like that.
I mentioned that. The son dies when she's 12. He gets hit by a car. Like they find him on the road dead. Like looked like he's hit by a car, hit and run. Um, but and then years later, his son's best friend is in the Naval Academy or something. He wants to be a pilot or an astronaut or something, and she has an affair with him. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And I kind of like, oh, is it going to become this sort of thing? Anyway, Star City, supposedly 2025, but based on that, I would say it's going to be, it is a sci-fi mystery thriller. Excuse me, I'm having too much to drink here. Slurring my words. It is. It's based on the For All Mankind universe, but this one tells the story of the Soviets, the cosmonauts, engineers, and intelligence officers serving in the Soviet space program at the home of the Yuri Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center. So potentially interesting. For All Mankind from the Soviet side maybe
Okay,
has
that's cool.
potential. For All Mankind is really good. Original sci-fi for change. Yes, I thought the concept was great, and I really enjoyed up to that point where what's her name started cheating on her husband for some 19-year-old kid. I was just like, come on, why would you do that? Because she's a really she's a fine, upstanding woman up till then, and then she just like, ugh,
Edgy. It's edgy.
edgy. Yeah, I thought it was like, ugh, but maybe I should try to go back and finish it off because I do like the concept. It's a great concept. All right. So that's what I wanted to do for TV. Yeah, it just seemed like in there and stuff. Anything for TV? Silo, I think. Who mentioned that? Michael mentioned it way back. Like I said, I think that one has potential. Anything else, Cam? You're looking.
Well, maybe this is the time to mention this.
William Gibson is still alive. I think he's still writing books. I have most of his books. I think someone stole my copy of Neuromancer. Damn their eyes. I hate them.
My
Marvel Zombies and sequel to the What If. Yeah, but there are a ton of Marvel zombie graphic novels that came out, years ago. Yeah.
my solace in all this is that
Stomp, it's a really good show for all mankind. I think you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched it. I enjoyed it up to that point where then I felt that character was she's cheating on her husband. And he's the good guy. He's the guy who doesn't cheat on her. She's cheating on her husband with this young kid. Like, what the hell's going on? And I kind of like, but maybe I should try again. I should overlook that because I think generally I enjoyed it up to then. It is a good show. Yeah. But anyway, I got to be honest and say, yeah. Yeah, Johnny Mnemonic. That's the name of the damn movie. But it's the same universe. It's the same, all the same type of stuff. But storyline, very different. And I really enjoyed Silo too. I got to finish watching more of that. Thing I like about Silo is it doesn't follow a set pattern. And, like things happen, you're like, oh, all right, we're gonna go right to this now. Yeah. Anyway, Cam, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Forget it. It's not that important.
Oh, okay. Come on.
I was just going to say that the for me personally, I'm very satisfied with looking to the past for things. There's so many things that I've loved from the past, and I have a strong sense of nostalgia, and I don't mind revisiting things. I've got a lifetime of stuff to go back to, and even while I'm not one of those people like, oh, I'm not going to watch anything new, I'd be happy to watch something new. But if they're putting out crap, then I'll go back to the things I already have, and be happy with it.
Yeah. And that was the original reason I started this channel, was that I felt that I looked at the novels that were put out in science fiction. And I was like, what is this? None of this is not the like none of this stands up to the Asimov, the Heinleins, the Nivens, all the great science fiction writers from when I was growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And that's why I started this channel, to bring people to those books that were really good and better than I thought of the stuff that were out there.
Well, by the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you mean the 20,000,
50s, 60s. Right? What's that?
I thought you're from the future.
Yeah, but yeah, of course. I mean the classic areas. No, the classic eras of the golden age of science fiction. 40s on, depending on the.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. I maybe it's just me. I love that kind of thing. I love discovering, and I mentioned this in regards to role playing, all kinds of things, and comics. I love being like, there's 40 years of material behind me. This is like a treasure trove to explore, Yeah. And I mean, if I was to judge, I'm better off with those things. Those are the things that I've liked throughout my entertainment history.
Yeah.
And
again, that's what I tried to expose people to when I started this channel. The whole idea was, focus on books and stuff, which I should get more into. I don't know. I haven't heard of Mercy. I'll have to check it out. I agree. PB, original sci-fi novels, TV shows, and films. We don't get it really in films very much. You got to look to novels or TV or somewhere else to get these original ideas. Okay, so let's talk about. You know what? Let's go to something. Have we done RPGs enough? I think.
Well, I'll just make one other mention. And
are you? Is there any? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Finish that.
Like I said, I just got the Blade Runner game, and there's the Alien one also from Free League. It's a company that I'm enjoying lately, and and they're for properties from the past that I like. So it's like a confluence of of pluses for me, you know. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing, is delving into those things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, and that's what I'm kind of, and this is kind of what we're going to. I mentioned this before. I don't see. Let's talk about board games. Let's talk about RPGs. I think we covered RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
What you're looking forward to, board games. It's difficult to try to find. You know how many thousands of board games are
Oh yeah,
are released. I think there's about 5,000 board games are released every year, and these
it's
are
absurd.
like, this is professional releases that are actually being made. This is not like, you drew a bunch of, cards in your basement and put it on the internet. This is actual professional releases are in the thousands
And any
every
one of
year.
them typically could be a full-time game. It's like
Yeah.
you could play this
And,
game every week, and not
yeah.
run out
I
of
mean,
stuff.
well, yeah, it depends on so I really cannot, when it comes to, are you looking forward to, that seems to be the way that board games are discovered, is just like someone goes and says, wow, I played this and it's really great, and it just sort of goes from there because there's just so many of them. So I can't really say, oh, I'm looking forward to this board game, because it's just impossible to know what's going on. You just gotta kind of just hang around and go and say, hey, people are talking about this game, and you look at it and you go, wow, that's good, I like it, I'm gonna get it. You can't really look forward to it like you would a movie or an upcoming movie or TV show or something, because there's just so many. So that's what I had to say about board games. Books. Anything about books, Cam, that you want to
No, I don't. I honestly don't know of anything new that's coming out. I mean, I've never been really a current sci-fi reader. It's like the sci-fi I've read is more from the past. I don't know if there is anything that's like, oh, I'm waiting for that book to come out.
Yeah, I was a
Even
current.
fantasy is not really something that I was waiting on.
I was a current reader back when the books were good, and like, oh, there's a sequel to, like, I remember when the sequels to Dune came out, like, oh, this just came out, oh, Herbert put out a Heretics of Dune or something like that, right? So I remember when that those
No, you don't. You can't remember that.
oh, I do, yeah,
What? Oh, Heretics of Dune. No,
Heretics,
no
fifth
way.
book.
Oh, okay. You're talking mid '80s then.
Yeah, 80s.
Okay.
I had read the other ones and like, oh, Herbert put another one. Yeah, there's just nothing. I mean, preparing for the show, I just, you know what? I don't know of any. Oh, I have them. No, I don't have them. Where do I have them? No, I don't have them. I just sort of did. All right. Well, let me just Google real quick. Upcoming, science fiction novels, and this is my big rant about books. The book industry, the main publishing industry, has been taken over by woke garbage,
Mm-hmm.
and mainly women too. So pretty much all the people who make the decisions in publishing are all women, and they tend to go with women generally. If Green Girl's here, I don't want to insult you, but generally speaking, women don't like science fiction. It's kind of very a man thing. So they've pushed away from those sort of things. In addition to that, there's been a lot of this woke stuff that you have to put some LGBT something in your book, otherwise it won't get published. And I always use this example about these books were written about 10 or 15 years ago, but there's this story that I happened to go to the library and go, you know what, I'm going to check this book out, and I gave it a try and read it through, and it's a pretty good story, but at 2 points in the story, one of the characters is a black female scientist, and at 2 points in the story, the story's going on. There's nothing about race or anything in the story. It has nothing to do with anything about the story. And at one point, the bad guy security guy comes to arrest her, type of thing. And and she's like, oh, it's because I'm black or something. And I'm like, what the frick did that come from? And my understanding, and I would like to talk to a writer to confirm this, was that they
They made them insert that.
Yeah, well, they didn't make them, but it was well known that if you didn't put some LGBTQ plus something in there, you wouldn't get published. So people would just stick it in there, and it had nothing to do with the story. Like you would read the character who I said was a black female. Uh, you know, you read the character. It didn't matter that like their race and their sex didn't matter to what the character was doing, or
Mhm.
like like you could have made that character any other type of thing. And I didn't have a problem with them making it a black female character, but it couldn't, that was not, important to the story. The race and the sex of the character wasn't important to the story. And so it was like, oh, this is really weird because everything's going like a normal story. And then all of a sudden this comes out and you're like, what? So that's the rumor that I heard about that. And that's how publishing was. So, it's just, I went through a list. I didn't keep it up here. I should have kept it so I could show it. I went through a list of the, you Google like upcoming books in 2025 that are science fiction novels. And I'm reading them. I'm like, none of these people are any authors that I've ever heard of. I don't care about any of them. They don't seem interesting at all. What is going on? Like, I think that publishing has, and this is going to be this is going to be mainstream publishing because it's, an article from, some, online magazine type thing. So it doesn't, I think that's a big problem in book publishing right now. There's just, very much cookie cutter style science fiction. The people they're publishing are not publishing a good book. It's just like, oh, we have certain percentage of science fiction that needs to be published, and that percentage is very low. And they'll just be like, all right, well, how about this guy and that guy or whatever? Oh, these people got some of this in there. This person is some minority group, so let's publish their stuff. I don't
Well,
see,
I was,
I
as
don't
you
see
know,
what we're getting.
I'm a fan of K-pop Demon Hunters, and I was watching some woman was reviewing it or whatever, and she was, I don't know anything about her. She seemed reasonable to me, but she was talking about how it was such a refreshing story to her because it wasn't, oh, look, I'm a woman and here's this. It was just like these are just characters that were doing their thing, and uh and had personalities and motivations, and things to do instead, and this woman was contrasting it with, the Mary Sue types. It's just like, oh, what's your thing? Oh, I'm a woman and look how powerful I am, and
No,
she's right,
that's not a
that's,
story.
yeah, right. It's like, how about you actually have a purpose? Clearly these people do not have a goal for their stories, like we were talking about with um, the Marvel stuff. It's just like, oh, well, what's your story? Well, woman hero. Oh, well, how innovative. That's
Yes.
great. Yeah.
Girl boss. Yeah, PB. Counterpart, very good. Yeah, this you talk about the one with what's his name from who plays J. Jonah Jameson all the time. I think it was only 2 seasons. Excellent story. Can't believe it came out on TV. You're like, wow, this is a great innovative story. You did a great job. If it's the same one we're talking about. Who plays the Spider-Man? He plays J. Jonah Jameson. Simmons. J.K.
J.K. Simmons.
Simmons. Yeah, great. As again, the problem. This is counterpart is was it counterpart or counterpoint? Counterpart. It it's on my list of shows that got canceled too quickly. Needs more seasons.
Oh yeah, you
Great
mentioned something about
show.
this
I've
before.
mentioned it before on the channel. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I don't see anything in books that I'm looking for. I've got a ton of great authors from, like I said, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and before that I love, and I would love to see stuff that come out, but they're just they're old, they're dead.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mentioned about,
There's very few from the modern age that I like. Neil Asher is one that I've talked about. He's pretty prolific. I don't think J.K. Simmons. Yes, okay, I got the right one. I shouldn't say this out loud because I'm trying to get him to come on the show and do an interview. I don't think his stuff is particularly innovative like some things, but it's good and it's solid. And I do kind of like he started a new. He's got 3 or 4 books in a new universe that he's working on, and they have some commentary on our present situation, political, sort of, in the proper way that science fiction does. He doesn't go like, oh, this is bad. It's a bit of a, it's set a couple, 100 or 200 years in the future in a society on Earth that has gone completely, one world government, totalitarian control. But you could see how our society at present now could move to that very easily, and I think we are moving to it. And he's, it's the setting, but yeah, I think he's a good writer. Like I said, he's not like, it's not like Frank Herbert or Farmer, Philip Jose Farmer. That's just completely innovative. You're like, wow, this is like a amazing concept. But the other side of that is, do those concepts exist anymore? Like, can you actually think of something that no one has ever thought about? Maybe it's all been done.
Well, yeah,
he's got good, solid writing. But anyway,
I often say in regards to games you were talking about earlier, there are no new ideas. It's just
Yeah.
what you do with these things, these pieces, these puzzle pieces. So that wouldn't bother me at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Incidentally, you mentioned games. I do want to note that we've talked about this mentioned it several times. The board game, sci-fi board game Eclipse, is a huge favorite of mine, and there are some expansions that have come out for the second edition, which I'd love to get.
Oh, really? The second edition has expansions already?
Yeah, it's basically redoing the stuff that was in the first edition. The new different factions and things like that. But so they're kind of catching up. But it's a game I've been desperate to get to the table again.
Cam wants to play that.
Absolutely.
I don't know how we would play it. Like, how would he wants me to play it with him? I don't know how. I'm a fan of the game. I got a copy. It's sitting on my shelf. I can look over and see. I've got a copy of the.
Do you have a copy of the second edition?
No, first edition.
Okay.
I couldn't. It's like, it was $200 for the.
Well,
I was like, what? It looks nice. It looks very nice. It looks great, but
yeah, it was expensive. But the first edition game is one of those games that I played, so many times, and we definitely got our money's out of it. Playing with someone else, basically you'd have to see the whole board and kind of, one person have to be controlling the board. So
I wonder if you could. So many of these games have online versions, Cam. I wonder if we could find it.
It wouldn't surprise me if they had a what's that? It's a
tabletop.
Tabletop simulator, is that it?
Yeah.
I actually have that. I've not used it.
Me too. I have it too.
But I would bet it's on there.
Basically, in that one, there's been a conversion done for just about every game you can think of. I'm sure there's an Eclipse one in there. In addition, often the companies will put out a version of their own to compete with that, which will usually be slicker and better, easier to use, but you have to pay for it, of course. But usually the ones on tabletop aren't that bad. It's actually called? Like, I've got a copy of Twilight Struggle separate from that, but tabletop. It's just called tabletop.
Tabletop simulator.
Tabletop simulator. There you go. So yeah, I've got a copy myself. So yeah, potentially we could do that.
I love that game.
Yeah, it's fun. I never get. It's got a big problem. The original has a big problem with the glass cannon situation.
Yeah,
that's why you got to have the expansion.
Well, the second edition helped that a bit, but another game that I've never played, Star Trek Ascendancy. This came out probably 10 years ago now. I literally have an unopened copy of it. It requires 3 players, and that's not always easy for me to get for board games, but that was based in the Next Generation era, essentially, and they had a lot of expansions for that game too. That's one I wouldn't mind looking into at some point.
Yeah, All right.
Anyway, okay. What
Were
other
you going to
categories
ask
we
me
got?
something more about books? We're going to finish off here.
I,
2 hour mark. We're going to end off.
well, yeah.
You
Go
would
ahead.
ask me about books. I'm really disappointed with books. I
Oh,
can't read anything modern. It's only like
yeah.
I'll read an Asher's book. I'll maybe read S.A. Corey, the guys who wrote the Expanse books, which I think are pretty good. They're entertaining.
What I was going to
Very
ask
hard
you.
for me to find good books.
What I was going to ask you is, in regards to, like I was saying, this treasure trove from the past. Have you, in your opinion, exhausted these things? I mean, I haven't read all of Heinlein's books, for example. I mean, I could still go back and do that.
Um,
Have you read all your favorite authors'
well,
full libraries?
I am the science fiction snob.
Yeah.
So, generally speaking, yes, I have. Now, I'm stuck to a little bit to collecting old editions of some of these books that I've read.
Hmm.
Now, no, that is not 100%. There are, like, I've pretty much read everything that Heinlein put out there that I'm interested in. I can't think of anything off the bat. There are a few authors like, for example, Philip Jose Farmer. He wrote. I tend to stick to his, to the more mainstream books. Farmer really likes he likes taking old characters and putting a quote modern spin on them, i.e., a 70s or 80s spin, which would have been modern. So he has some novels about that include Doc Caliban and Tarzan,
Hmm.
right? And he's sort of reimagined them and put them in a modern setting and done weird things with them. I have not necessarily read all of those books, but I've read some of them. So it is very difficult for me to find, to find something that written by Larry Niven that I haven't read, to find something by, David Brin that I haven't read, Card that I haven't read. And if I haven't read it, it might be from a series that was not of any interest to me for some reason. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So I do have, yeah, it's very difficult for me. I kind of focus on trying to find something modern that, and by modern, I mean 2000s or later that is any good. And I have trouble finding that sometimes.
Well,
But a lot of them are on my channel. Check it out. There's a couple of good ones, that I might like. You might find something there.
as I've probably mentioned, I consider myself a comic book fan. If I was to say one fandom, what is it? Over the course of my
Yeah.
life, and that's comic book fan. Second, probably RPGs. But um, it's like I don't have any interest in modern comics. I think they're an abomination, mainstream
Yeah.
that is. But again, there's literally, even though I've read so many comics from the old days, there's many that I haven't read. I could go back
Yeah.
and get them for cheap, collected editions and things. I have Flash as my, excuse me, Flash is my favorite character. I haven't read all of the original Flash, even to this day.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't.
not the same maybe I've just read more books, but it'd be very hard for me to find, something that I haven't read. Occasionally I do, I go, oh, I didn't know that this guy wrote this book. But it's usually their their lesser well-known stuff.
Well, it
The
sucks to be you.
Expanse, yeah, it does. Expanse, classic sci-fi. I guess you could say that. It's not dumbed down for the masses for sure. They're generally well written and good. I wasn't too impressed with the last two books. The last two books in the series, 8 and 9 or 7 and 8, whatever it was. But they had the main characters are like 30 years older, and they're all like creaking around and stuff. And they're trying to end the series. They weren't as good, but the other stuff all good. And of course, The Expanse is much more focused on, hard science fiction, real. So ships don't, it's not gravity, whatever. The ships are moving in real time, and they're doing a good job of describing them. The Gore novels, no, that's one thing I haven't looked into. The Gore novels, you still find stuff. And just anybody who's a fan of the show or follows the show, if you ever want to drop me a line and in Discord or wherever and say, hey, suggest something to read, let me, I'll do this for anybody. Just let me know. You say, hey, I really like this, type of book. Like I've read something by this author, or this series or whatever. And I'd say, and I can usually find you something. Usually read something that is similar to that series, and I can say, hey, if you like this, then you probably would like that. Or, give me some sort of description, and I'll say, yeah, this, you might like this. Fairly knowledgeable with older science fiction, and might be able to point you in the right direction. But yeah, I'm happy to do that for people to try to get them into this stuff. So if you want to drop me on,
Free service from Sci-Fi.
free service to all our fans. You just got to be a fan. All right, good. Anything else you want to talk about, Cam, before we end off? We're at the over the 2 hour mark, but it's good. Look at this. Oh my goodness, look at this. The chat is now attacking me. Not a real science fiction fan, not a real snob till you've read the Gore novels. Well, I don't know about that. I have a list of books you have to read to be a science fiction snob. Since I get to decide, it's my list. So I should put that out there at some point, Cam?
Oh, sure.
I should put that out there. I haven't written it all down completely. Anyway. All right. I'll have to get on these Gore novels. I've heard of them before. People have been telling me I should get into them.
All right.
Is that it, Cam?
I'm
Nothing
satisfied.
Else? Do you wanted to? We killed it, crushed it. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. It's the Gore novels aren't S&M.
Wow.
Right, good. I hope not.
I don't know where that came from, but hey.
I hope not. Let's hope not. I don't really. I hope not. I hope it's kind of a chill show. Just everybody, So I think I hope everyone enjoyed it. Next week. Next week coming up. Not next week, but the week after is movie night, and you voted. Thousands and thousands of people voted on Discord, and you chose by a narrow margin Flash Gordon over the Star Wars lookalike. So the next 2 weeks from now, the next show we'll be looking at Flash Gordon, and make sure, like I said, do not go Flesh Gordon because you will not be the movie that you expect. Make sure that you go Flash Gordon, and I'll put a thing up, and there is a copy on the Internet Archive you can watch, and I will put up when I put up the show notes and everything for that show. You'll see I'll put a link to the Internet Archive, or you can just go yourself, Internet Archive, Google it. Internet Archive.
I hope it's widescreen.
I don't know. I haven't checked that much. So it'll be Flash Gordon. Whoops. Flash Gordon. So that's the next one. And I'm, I don't know. I really like the Queen soundtrack to that. I'm going to have to, it's probably the best part of the movie. I don't know how we're going to incorporate that without getting our channel copyright struck.
Oh, they'll take all your income.
They'll take all my income. Yeah. Oh, did I tell you, Cam, I just little mentioned that we're getting very close to being able to do memberships. I expect that maybe by within 2 weeks, maybe sooner, we will have enough valid public watch hours within 2 weeks to have memberships. So I don't know how that works, but don't know. Not Flesh Gordon. Flesh Gordon is basically it's a softcore porno of Flash Gordon. So if you haven't. I think I saw it in the, I was when I was a teenager in the 80s or something, you're flipping it around at 2:00 in the morning and they have the,
when you're flipping around, meaning vigorously pursuing. Sure.
And
Well, it occurs
Flash Gordon is not the raw. I mean, it's, it's been years. I just remember seeing some orgy scene on there.
No boy.
I don't remember anything about the other than the movie. But yeah.
We missed our opportunity last week when Jason was off to do a Dead from the Dugout show.
Yeah.
But I believe Jason will be on tomorrow.
You need a topic.
Has a show scheduled.
Yeah.
Do we need a topic? I think we've proved that we don't.
What do you mean? Prove that we don't.
This.
All right.
Well, okay, wait a minute. How many? There's 11 people watching. There's more people watching at the end than at the beginning. So we must be doing something right for our small but loyal audience.
They're starting to drop off. They're like, oh, the show's over. Get out of here.
What are you talking about? It's more than at the beginning.
I sent you down the Flesh Gordon rabbit hole. I did mention it. I have mentioned it in the past. So maybe you just right now you've been Googling while we were talking. Pay attention to the show. Don't Google while we're on the show. Focus your 100% attention. All right. I guess that's it. Is anything else you want to mention, Cam?
Nope. Wednesday we have except for Wednesday we have Babylon 5, and so please tune in for that.
Yeah. Knives. That's the episode. Is it a good episode? I haven't watched it yet.
I don't remember. It's a Londo episode, so most likely.
Oh, Londo. We like Londo. It just seems like it might be a disappointment after last week where we like get all this information about the shadow. And then we're like, oh, now what? Oh, we're going to. But if it's a Londo episode, yeah, that's good. Yeah. All right. Okay. I guess that's everything. Oh, get in the chat. They're giving me. I like when we do jokes on the show, I like to have them focus on what the show is about. And this show went all over the place. So it's kind of hard to get, good jokes that focus on, what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I hate that. Like I try to. All right. So you want some jokes, Cam?
No, I never want jokes, but
you're demanding jokes.
Jeff wants them.
All right. And remember, chat. If Cam laughs, then if Cam doesn't laugh, then I win, and if he laughs, then I lose the joke thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we've done all our promotion. Okay. That one's not very good. Oh. All right. Why don't aliens ever visit our planet, Cam?
I don't know. Why don't aliens ever visit our planet?
Well, because they read the reviews that say only 1 star.
Got it.
Yeah, we only got 1 star in our solar system, but a 1-star review is kind of like low because like 5-star or 4 or 5 stars would be.
Yep.
Get it? Yeah.
Which I understand. A binary or further star systems, are pretty common.
Trinary? I don't know about trinary.
No, binary. I'm saying more than one are not like a strange occurrence. It's rather common.
I don't know. I think is binary more common than
I don't know that it's more common than single, but it's not like a rare thing.
I think trinary is fairly rare, but I guess when you've got like, how many we got? 100 billion stars in our galaxy.
I think it's all fake. I think it's fake.
Maybe it's just painted on a canvas. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
All right. This is horrible. All right.
You know when snobs got pause for these, that they got to be.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh no.
Let's go.
Why did the time traveler become a stand-up comedian?
I don't know. Why did the time traveler become a stand-up comedian?
Because he always had great material from the past and future. Because the time traveler travels between the past and the future.
It's not even a joke. That's maybe one of the worst ones I've ever heard.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, we can stop there. I say you keep going until we lose viewers. Let's let the viewers decide.
Until everybody leave,
we'll stop.
They just leave from
because we're, as you said, we're trying to get hours.
Everyone's going to leave now because they're like, oh, these are bad. There's just, I'm all right. Last one, and this is all right. Why did the astronaut break up from his robot girlfriend?
I don't know. Why did the astronaut break up from his robot girlfriend?
She had too many hardware issues. Huh. You kind of laughed at that one.
Yeah, I was a
I
little.
don't know how you did that. That's pretty bad. Three body problem is good. Yeah, the novel. I enjoyed the TV show first season. I saw it. It was reasonably good. Yeah.
Odyssey 5. No, I've not heard of that.
Multiple stars and systems are the norm, gents. Oh,
right. Okay, so Michael's confirming what I had heard.
Of course, these novels are excellent, and actually, this is the only problem. I'm just cleaning up here. If you said I liked The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it'd be very hard to find you a book that is similar to that. My daughter loved that book, and she said, I want to read books like this from another author. I said, nobody writes like Douglas Adams. There's nothing that
he had sequels to it, didn't
he? Yeah, he did. He has four sequels, and she read them. But she's like, now I want to read something else like this by someone else. And I'm like, there is nothing else like it. The same level of British humor and that kind of. Nobody, I can't think of any. If you can, let me know. Who's the guest on Wednesday? It is. Let me just pull up the thing and check.
Guys, is it Dean again?
Trying to end the show. Dean is going to be on for Knives on Wednesday. And James want to talk. What do you want to talk about? I kind of gave you feedback, but we can. Sure. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in the Discord for a little bit. I don't know if Cam can be there. I'll jump in the Discord for 15, maybe 30 minutes max. Yeah. But back up to 11. Everyone came in for the jokes at the end of the show. All right. Awesome. Okay. That's it. Anything else, Cam?
Nope. I appreciate everyone coming as usual, though.
We appreciate you. And remember, if you want to be a Lounge Lizard, if your name's not on the list of Lounge Lizards, you want to be in there, just drop me a line. I'll add you in there. After, of course, you've gone through our
extensive training program.
No, vetting process. Extensive vetting process to make sure you. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you coming by, and we'll see you next week. Next week's show, we haven't decided. It might be related to Flash Gordon. We might be talking about, Cam and I are going to work on this. We might be talking about next week in preparation for Flash Gordon. We might be talking about the classic Western style science fiction that you see in pulp magazines like Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, those kind of stuff. We might work on some, see if we can do something with that. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everyone.